The first thing Marcus noticed wasn't the music, not the soft piano in the corner, not the laughter that sounded like it had been practiced, not the way the chandelier light turned every glass into a little spotlight. It was the silence that didn't belong, a mouth opening with no air behind it. Marcus was moving along the edge of the ballroom with a bottle of sparkling water balanced in his hand, shoulders squared, face neutral. He wore a crisp black vest and a name tag that said Marcus in clean white letters, like the hotel wanted to be sure he stayed exactly one word wide. The Meridian Hotel loved clean lines, clean floors, clean smiles, clean stories. Tonight was one of their big nights. VIP guests, investors, a partnership announcement everyone whispered about in the break room like it was a storm coming. Marcus wasn't supposed to be a part of any storm. He was supposed to serve, disappear, and go home to his son. Then Claire Hart stood. The room leaned toward her without meaning to. People did that around her, like gravity did paperwork. She was the CEO everyone knew by name, even if they didn't use it out loud. The woman whose face lived on magazine covers and business panels and the little screens over gas pumps. She lifted her glass with a smile that made strangers feel chosen. Marcus had seen powerful people before, but Claire looked untouchable. Then she took a bite of something delicate and expensive, a perfect bite. A bite so small it felt insulting to the idea of hunger. She swallowed, and her whole face changed. Her smile froze like someone paused her. Her eyes widened, not with surprise, but with alarm that came from deep inside the body. One hand rose to her throat, not dramatic, not theatrical, just automatic. A reflex. The people around her didn't understand right away. They leaned in, smiling, waiting for the moment to pass, because rich rooms don't like inconvenient truths. Claire coughed once, hard. No sound followed. Her mouth opened again, and nothing came out but panic. The glass slipped from her fingers. A waiter caught it with smooth reflexes, because even emergencies at the Meridian were expected to stay elegant. Someone laughed too quickly, too brightly, like laughter could patch the crack. A man beside Claire leaned close, smile still pasted on. "You okay?" Claire couldn't answer. Marcus didn't think. He moved. He set the bottle down wherever it would stand and cut through the crowd like a swimmer cutting a wave. A hand brushed his sleeve. Someone murmured, annoyed. Marcus didn't slow. Claire's cheeks were changing color in a way chandeliers could not soften. Her eyes found Marcus, not a CEO's eyes, not a woman who controlled rooms, just a person trapped behind her own throat. Marcus stepped behind her, close enough to feel her trembling, close enough to smell her perfume and the sharp edge of fear. He didn't announce himself. He didn't ask permission. He locked his hands below her ribs and pulled with controlled force. Once. Twice. Claire's body jerked like she hated being touched, hated needing help, hated that her life had become public. Marcus adjusted, his mind oddly calm, his hands precise. He pulled again, stronger, exactly where he needed to. The room went silent in the way crowds do when they sense they might be asked to witness something real. On the next thrust, Claire's mouth opened and she coughed violently. A small piece of food shot out, flashing under the chandelier like a stupid little secret. Air rushed back into her lungs with an ugly, grateful sound. Claire bent forward, coughing hard now, breathing in ragged bursts like she didn't trust the air to stay. Marcus stepped back, hands lifting slightly, palms open, showing he wasn't a threat even though he had just been the difference between life and not life. Claire turned, eyes watery, still coughing. She looked at Marcus like she was trying to place him in a category and failing. Then security arrived. Two men in black suits, the kind with earpieces and hard jaws, moved fast. One grabbed Marcus's elbow with a grip that felt like a decision. "Sir," the guard said, tight and low, "step away." "She was choking," Marcus said, voice steady. "She can breathe now." "I said step away." The grip tightened. Management appeared like a shadow. Gideon Caldwell, the general manager, arrived with a smile already in place. Silver hair, perfect suit. The kind of man who never raised his voice because he never had to. He placed himself between Marcus and Claire, as if shielding her from the existence of the person who had saved her. "Ms. Hart," Caldwell murmured, warm and controlled, "we're so sorry for the inconvenience. Let's get you somewhere private." Claire tried to speak, but another cough swallowed her words.
A woman with a tablet and a headset moved in quickly, eyes scanning the room, already editing the story in her head.
Public relations. She spoke to the crowd with a calm smile that didn't reach her eyes. "Please continue enjoying your evening," she said. "A little moment. Nothing to worry about. A little moment." Marcus's elbow still burned under the guard's grip. Caldwell finally looked at Marcus, not at his uniform, at his face, at his skin, at the fact that he had been too close to Claire Hart. Caldwell leaned in as if offering kindness. "Thank you for your enthusiasm," he murmured. "Come with me." Marcus followed because resisting is how misunderstandings become headlines, and headlines never land the same when your name is Marcus Reed. They moved through a side door into a corridor that smelled like lemon polish and hidden stress. The music faded behind them, replaced by the hum of the hotel's machinery and the quiet language of control. Caldwell stopped beneath a corridor camera. The dome lens stared down like a cold eye. Security stayed close, still gripping Marcus's elbow like punctuation. Caldwell's smile remained. "You understand," he said softly, "that what happened in there cannot become a story." Marcus blinked once. "A story," he repeated. "The kind that travels," Caldwell continued, voice gentle and sharp at the same time. "The kind that makes VIP guests feel unsafe. The kind that suggests our staff was unprepared." Marcus stared at him. "She almost died." Caldwell's smile thinned. "She did not," he said, calm as a locked door. "She is fine, and we handled it." Marcus felt heat rise in his chest. Disbelief, anger, that old familiar taste of being told reality wasn't convenient enough to count. "I handled it," Marcus said quietly. Caldwell's eyes held him in place. "And we appreciate that," Caldwell said. "Truly. But the optics are delicate. There are investors here tonight. There are journalists downstairs. There is a partnership discussion happening that affects hundreds of jobs." Marcus thought of his own job, affecting one small boy and one apartment with thin walls. Caldwell stepped closer, lowering his voice until it felt like a private conversation. "So here's what will happen," Caldwell said. "You will return to work. You will finish your shift. You will not discuss this with anyone, not staff, not guests, not friends, not online. Understood?" Marcus's mouth went dry. The guard's fingers dug in harder. Marcus's eyes flicked up to the corridor camera. Caldwell followed his gaze and gave a tiny nod as if pleased. "We take privacy seriously," Caldwell said. "So do you." Marcus swallowed. "Am I in trouble?" he asked. Caldwell smiled wider, like Marcus had asked something cute. "Of course not," Caldwell said, "unless you make it trouble." Then Caldwell's tone shifted, barely. "You have a child," he added, casual, like discussing weather. Marcus's spine stiffened. "We run background checks," Caldwell said. "Luxury property, safety, you understand." "Everyone's safe," Caldwell meant. "Everyone except the people who made the hotel run." Caldwell straightened his cuff. "Finish your shift," he said. "Report to Human Resources in the morning. They'll have a standard confidentiality form. Sign it, and this becomes a private moment you can be proud of." Private pride. Marcus nodded once because the guard's grip said he didn't have many choices. He went back into the ballroom with his heart beating wrong. The party had already recovered, the way the rich recover from discomfort. The piano resumed. Laughter returned. People leaned toward each other as if no one had almost stopped breathing in front of them. Marcus moved through the room refilling glasses, face neutral, hands steady, body doing its job while his mind replayed Claire's eyes and the moment the air returned. He did not look toward the doors they'd taken her through. He did not look toward Caldwell. He just worked, because work was the only thing the world allowed him to do without asking permission. Near the end of the night, when the ballroom thinned and the air smelled like leftover perfume and cooling food, Marcus's phone vibrated in his pocket. He waited until he was in the service hallway before he checked it. Unknown number. I saw what you did. Marcus stared at the screen. Another message followed. They're going to erase you. His throat tightened. He typed back. Who is this? The reply came quickly. Someone who still has a conscience. Then another message. Don't sign anything tomorrow. Marcus's thumb hovered. He looked down the hallway at the corridor cameras and the closed doors and the hotel's clean, controlled silence. He slipped the phone away and finished closing tasks like nothing had happened. Because if the Meridian taught anything, it was this. Reality was negotiable. The story was the product. Outside, the city air was cold and honest. Marcus rode the bus home. The seats were cracked, the lights buzzed, and no one pretended to be perfect. He watched streetlights smear across the window and thought about how easy it was to choke in a room full of people and still be alone. At home, the apartment smelled faintly like macaroni and laundry soap. A small backpack sat by the door. A tiny pair of sneakers lay on their sides like they had surrendered. Marcus's chest softened. Eli, he called. In here, a sleepy voice answered. Marcus stepped into the bedroom. Eli was curled under a blanket printed with superheroes. His hair stuck up. His eyes were too awake. You're late, Eli said. Marcus sat on the edge of the bed. I know, he said. Big shift. Eli watched him closely. Your hands are shaking, Eli said. Marcus looked down. They were. He curled them into fists until they stilled. Just tired, he said. Eli didn't look convinced, but he didn't push. Because Eli had learned how to sense the edges of adult fear. Marcus reached for the nightstand and lifted the jar they kept there. Inside were paper stars, tiny folded moments, each one a sentence from a day they survived. They had started the ritual after Eli's mom died, a way to force the dark to share space with something small and good. Eli's eyes softened when he saw it. Stars? Eli asked. Marcus nodded. What's yours? Marcus asked. Eli thought hard, like choosing a star mattered. Ms. Larkin said my drawing was the best, Eli said. Marcus smiled. What'd you draw? A dragon, Eli said. But it's not mean. It guards a house. Marcus swallowed. That's a good dragon, Marcus said. Eli nodded, satisfied. What's yours? Eli asked, voice quieter. Marcus hesitated. He could lie. He could say something harmless. But Eli's face held a kind of expectation, an expectation that his father's words were safe. Marcus picked up a pen. I helped someone breathe, he said. Eli's eyes widened. Like saving? He asked. Marcus nodded slowly. Yeah, he said, like saving. Eli's mouth opened, awe spreading across his face. That's superhero stuff, Eli whispered. Marcus wrote the sentence on a slip of paper. I helped someone breathe. He folded it into a star with slow precision and dropped it into the jar. It tapped softly against the others. Eli smiled like the world had just gotten less scary. Then Eli's expression shifted. You're going to lose your job, he said, not a question. Marcus's stomach clenched. What makes you think that? Marcus asked. Eli shrugged, eyes down. You whisper different when it's money, he said. Marcus crouched, meeting Eli's gaze. I'm going to handle it, Marcus said. Eli searched his face. You promise? He asked. Marcus nodded. I promise. Eli's eyelids finally grew heavy. Marcus turned off the light and stepped out, closing the door carefully. In the living room, Marcus sat in the dark and pulled out his phone. He stared at the unknown number. Then he typed, Why are they doing this? The reply came after a pause. Because the Meridian is selling safety. If people think a VIP can choke here, the illusion cracks. And because someone important was supposed to be the hero, not you. Marcus felt a chill move through him. Who are you? The answer came slower. If I tell you, they'll erase me too. Just watch the cameras. That's where they'll lie first. Marcus stared out the window at the city lights. Somewhere in the Meridian's corridors, cameras watched and recorded, ready to become weapons if someone chose to edit the truth. In the morning, Marcus walked Eli to school, packed him a lunch, and tucked a note inside the bag like he always did. You are brave. You are kind. You are loved. Eli read it at the gate and grinned before running inside. Marcus stood there a moment longer, watching the small body disappear into a building that promised safety but could never guarantee it. Then Marcus went to the Meridian. Human Resources was behind frosted glass and soft carpet that muted footsteps. The air smelled like paper and polite consequences. A woman named Denise greeted him with a practiced smile and tired eyes. "Marcus Reed," she said. "Have a seat." Marcus sat. Denise slid a document across the desk. "Standard confidentiality agreement," she said gently, "for guest privacy." Marcus scanned it. Legal language, long sentences, tiny traps. A clause about not disclosing the incident. A clause about consequences, termination, legal action. He looked up. "Why is this necessary?" he asked. Denise's smile trembled slightly. "People talk," she said. "It creates misunderstandings." "It's not a misunderstanding," Marcus said. "She couldn't breathe." Denise lowered her gaze.
"You did a good thing," she said, voice soft. "But the guest is fine. The best outcome is that nothing becomes bigger than it has to be." Marcus stared at the paper. The pen Denise offered looked heavier than it should. He noticed the manager's signature line at the bottom, already signed. Gideon Caldwell. Caldwell had signed it before Marcus even sat down. Marcus set the pen down. "I can't sign this," he said. Denise's expression tightened. "Marcus," she said, urgent now, "it's procedure." "Procedure didn't save her," Marcus said quietly. "I did." Denise exhaled through her nose, eyes flicking toward the glass wall as if Caldwell were listening through it. "If you don't sign," she said, "I can't guarantee your schedule." Marcus felt the floor tilt slightly. "My schedule?" he repeated. Denise nodded. Marcus's phone vibrated in his pocket. He didn't check it. He stood. "I need to think," he said. Denise's voice sharpened. "If you leave without signing, it will be documented." Marcus met her eyes. "Document it," he said. He walked out. In the corridor, security waited like they'd been expecting this. "Mr. Reed," one guard said, "come with us." Marcus's jaw tightened. "For what?" he asked. "Routine," the guard said, and the words sounded like a lie wearing a uniform. They led him to a small, windowless room with a table and a metal chair. Caldwell stood inside, arms folded. "So," Caldwell said, calm as ever, "you've decided to be difficult." Marcus kept his voice steady. "I decided not to sign away the truth," he said. Caldwell's eyes cooled. "The truth," he repeated. "Let's be precise. You placed your hands on a high-profile guest without authorization." Marcus stared. "She was choking," he said. Caldwell leaned forward slightly. "And you panicked," Caldwell said. "You created a scene. You violated protocol." Marcus felt something old and familiar tighten in his chest. This was how the world reshaped men like him, not with shouting, with paperwork. Caldwell lowered his voice. "I want to protect this establishment," he said, "and I want to protect you. You need stability, Marcus. You have a child." Marcus's teeth clenched. Caldwell tapped the table once. "Sign the agreement," Caldwell said, "or you will be removed from the schedule. And if you choose that option, there are ways to describe an employee who violates boundaries, ways that follow him." Marcus understood. A quiet phone call, a ruined reference, a stain that didn't wash out. Marcus looked at Caldwell and thought about Claire's eyes when she couldn't breathe. He thought about Eli's face at the school gate. He spoke slowly. "I'm not signing," he said. Caldwell's smile disappeared. "Then you are dismissed," Caldwell said. "Effective immediately." The words hit like a door slamming. Marcus stood. Security moved in. Marcus lifted his hands slightly. "I'm leaving," he said. He walked out of the Meridian without a paycheck and without the luxury of pretending the world was fair. Outside, people moved past him with coffee and headphones and their own private fears. No one knew he had saved a life. No one knew he had just lost the thing that kept his own life upright. His phone vibrated. Unknown number. "They fired you." Marcus's stomach turned. "How do you know?" The reply came. "Because they always do." Marcus typed, "I need proof." A pause. Then the message. "Linen room, 3rd basement, in 15 minutes." Marcus stared at it. His first instinct was to run home and lock the door and protect Eli from anything that could spill into their life. His second instinct was the one that had moved him through the ballroom. He went back in. He entered through the staff entrance because invisibility was still his passport. No one stopped him. No one asked questions. The Meridian didn't see people like Marcus until it needed someone to blame. He took the service elevator down. The air got warmer, heavier, smelling of detergent and damp fabric. The doors opened to the basement corridor. He found the linen room at the end. Inside, stacks of white sheets formed walls. Industrial dryers hummed in the background. The air was thick with heat. A young woman stood near a cart, hands twisting together. She looked up sharply when Marcus entered. Her eyes were red like she had already been crying. "You came," she whispered. Marcus scanned the room. "Who are you?" he asked. She swallowed. "Jules," she said. "Banquet support, housekeeping, whatever they need." Marcus's throat tightened. "You were texting me," he said. Jules nodded fast. "I shouldn't have," she said, "but I couldn't watch them do that to you." "Why?" Marcus asked. "Why risk it?" Jules flinched, then forced herself to speak. "Because my dad died choking," she said quietly. "At a cookout. People just stood there, like it was embarrassing." Marcus felt something shift in his lungs, a painful echo. "And because last night," Jules continued, "you didn't freeze, you moved. You cared more about her life than about the room." Marcus stared at her. Jules reached into her pocket and pulled out a small flash drive. "The cameras back up automatically," she whispered. "There's a loop that saves a copy before it gets overwritten. Not everything, not clear, but something." Marcus reached out. Jules didn't let go yet. "I can't lose this job," she said, voice shaking. "My mom's sick. I'm paying for her meds. If they find out—" Marcus nodded. "I get it," he said. Jules's eyes darted toward the door. "They went into the server room last night," she whispered. "Not IT, not security, someone in a suit." Marcus's stomach dropped. "Caldwell?" he asked. Jules shook her head. "No," she said. "PR Sienna, the woman with the tablet." Marcus felt cold spread under his skin. Jules finally pressed the flash drive into his palm. "There's audio," she whispered. "You can hear the choking. You can hear what Caldwell says after." Footsteps sounded in the corridor outside. Jules' whole body stiffened. "Go," she mouthed. Marcus slipped out, moving fast, head down, pretending he belonged. In the elevator up, his phone rang. Eli's school. Marcus answered, heart already sinking. "Mr. Reed?" the office voice said. "Eli says he doesn't feel well. He wants to go home." Marcus exhaled. "I'm coming," he said. At school, Eli sat on a bench clutching his backpack. When he saw Marcus, his eyes filled with relief and something else. Fear. "You're here," Eli whispered. Marcus crouched. "Does your stomach hurt?" he asked. Eli shook his head. "It's not my stomach," he said, voice small. "It's people." Marcus's chest tightened. Eli swallowed hard. "Some mom said you did something bad," Eli whispered. "She said you touched a lady at work and got in trouble." Marcus felt the cruel symmetry. Claire couldn't breathe, and now Marcus couldn't. He took a slow breath and forced his voice to stay gentle. "Look at me," he said. Eli looked up. "I saved someone," Marcus said. "She couldn't breathe. I helped her breathe again." Eli's brow furrowed. "Then why are they saying—" Eli started. "Because sometimes people want a different story than the truth," Marcus said. Eli stared at him, trying to understand a world where saving could be twisted. "Why?" Eli asked. Marcus's throat tightened. "Because the truth makes them look wrong," Marcus said. "And some people care more about looking right than being right." Eli's face hardened with a small, fierce anger. "That's dumb," he said. Marcus nodded. "It is," he said. At home, Eli sat at the kitchen table while Marcus poured water and set out crackers. Eli didn't touch them. Marcus placed the star jar in the middle of the table like an anchor. Eli stared at it. "Stars now?" he asked. Marcus nodded. Eli picked up the pen and wrote slowly, pressing hard like the paper needed to feel the truth. He folded it into a star and dropped it into the jar. Marcus waited. Eli's voice shook. "I wrote, 'My dad is not bad,'" Eli said. Marcus felt his throat tighten until it hurt. He picked up the pen. He wrote his own star, "I will not let them erase me." He folded it, dropped it in. Eli watched it fall. "Are you in trouble?" Eli asked. Marcus held his gaze. "I might be," he said, "but I'm going to handle it." That night, after Eli slept, Marcus borrowed a neighbor's old laptop and plugged in the flash drive. Grainy footage appeared. The ballroom. The crowd. Claire's hand rising to her throat. Marcus saw himself move, a dark figure cutting through light. The audio was muffled but clear enough to make his stomach twist. The silent struggle. The sudden rush of air returning. Then the video cut early, as if someone had ripped a page out of a book. But the audio continued for a few seconds more, Caldwell's voice close and irritated. "He wasn't even supposed to be in that section," Caldwell said. "Who scheduled him?" Another voice replied, smooth, controlled, a woman. "It doesn't matter," the voice said. "We just can't have this out." Marcus rewound and listened again. That voice, Sienna. His phone buzzed, a message from the unknown number. "You have enough, now you need her." Marcus typed back, "How?" The reply came, "She will look for you when she realizes she's been managed." Marcus stared at the ceiling. As if summoned by the thought, a new message arrived from a number he didn't recognize. "This is Claire. They took my phone. I got another one. I heard what they did to you." Marcus's heart thudded hard enough to hurt. Another message followed. "Meet me tomorrow. Service corridor. Late morning." Marcus stared at the screen, then at the wall where Eli's drawings were taped crooked. He didn't know what tomorrow would cost. He just knew he couldn't keep letting other people tell his son what kind of man his father was. The next morning, Marcus moved quietly through the apartment like the air was fragile. He packed Eli's lunch. He tucked another note inside. "You are brave. You are kind. You are loved." Eli read it at the table and smiled like the world was still safe. On the walk to school, Eli held Marcus's hand longer than usual. At the gate, Eli hesitated. "Dad," he whispered, "if someone lies again, I'm going to say you saved her." Marcus swallowed. "Thank you," he said. Eli ran inside. Marcus stood there for a moment with the empty space of Eli's hand still warm in his palm. Then he headed back to the Meridian. He didn't go through the front doors. He went to the service entrance in the alley where delivery trucks idled and staff slipped inside with their heads down. The hallway smelled like coffee and detergent and exhaustion. Marcus waited near a schedule board that still had his name on it, crossed out in fresh ink. He watched the elevators. He watched the doors. He watched the cameras. His phone buzzed once, a text from Jules. "Be careful, they're watching the back halls today." Marcus typed back, "Are you safe?" The reply came fast, "For now." He put the phone away. Footsteps approached. Two men in suits stepped out of the freight elevator, talking low. Behind them came Claire Hart. She looked different without a ballroom around her. No glitter, no performance smile. Her coat was plain.
Her posture was stiff. Her eyes looked tired in a way money couldn't fix. Beside her, Sienna walked with a tablet in hand, voice low and fast. "We'll keep it minimal," Sienna was saying. "No naming staff, no acknowledging anything beyond a brief health issue. We'll frame it as—" Claire stopped walking. Sienna stopped too, surprised. Claire's eyes lifted. They landed on Marcus. For a second, the hallway narrowed until there was only the space between them and the sound of their breathing. Claire took a step toward Marcus. Sienna's posture stiffened instantly. "Ms. Hart," Sienna said, polite warning wrapped in silk, "we should really—" Claire lifted a hand without looking at her. Sienna went quiet. Claire approached Marcus slowly, like she didn't want to spook the truth. "You," she said, voice rough. Marcus nodded. "Me," he replied. Claire's gaze searched his face, then dipped to the absence of a uniform. "They told me security handled it," she said. Marcus's jaw tightened. "Security handled the crowd," Marcus said. "I handled your lungs." Claire's lips parted slightly, a flash of something like shame. "They told me you were inappropriate," she said. "They told me you panicked." Marcus held her gaze. "I was precise," he said. "And you were dying." Claire swallowed, her throat working like it remembered.
Sienna stepped forward, smile back in place. "Mr. Reed," Sienna said warmly, "we're all grateful for your quick response. However, the guest experience is delicate and—" Claire turned her head slightly, eyes sharp. "Sienna," Claire said quietly, "not now." Sienna's smile froze. "I'm just protecting you," Sienna said. Claire's gaze didn't soften. "My protection was your staff firing the man who saved me," Claire replied. Sienna blinked, startled. Claire looked back at Marcus. "They fired you," she said, not a question. Marcus nodded. "Yes," he said. Claire's jaw clenched. "For saving my life," she said. Marcus didn't fill the silence. He let the words hang there, heavy and undeniable. "They took my phone," Claire admitted, voice low. "They said it was privacy. They said I needed rest." Marcus exhaled. "They managed you," he said. Claire's eyes hardened. "They tried," she said. Marcus kept his voice steady. "I have proof," he said. Claire's gaze sharpened. "Proof," she repeated. "A partial backup," Marcus said. "Audio and a voice. PR." Claire's eyes flicked, just once, toward Sienna. Sienna's face stayed smooth. Claire looked back at Marcus. "Meet me tonight," she said. "Not here." Sienna's voice cut in fast. "Ms. Hart, you have a board call in the morning," she said. "Your schedule—" Claire's eyes turned cold. "My schedule is not my throat," Claire said. Then she slid a small card into Marcus's hand. A phone number, handwritten on the back. "Text this. It's mine, not theirs." Marcus looked at it like it might burn him. Claire leaned closer, voice barely above a whisper. "Come alone," she said. "Be careful." Then she turned and walked away, shoulders squared, stepping back into her world with a new stiffness in her spine. Marcus stood there with the card in his palm and the sensation that the air had changed. That evening he put Eli to bed early. Eli lay under the blanket with his eyes open, watching Marcus like he was trying to memorize him. "Dad," Eli said, "are you going somewhere?" Marcus hesitated. "Just a meeting," he said. "With who?" Eli asked. Marcus chose the safest truth. "With the person I helped," he said. Eli's eyes widened. "The breathing lady?" he whispered. Marcus nodded. Eli sat up a little. "Is she gonna fix it?" Eli asked. Marcus smiled faintly. "She might," he said, "but not by buying it." Eli frowned. "Then how?" he asked. Marcus touched Eli's hair gently. "By telling the truth out loud," Marcus said. Eli considered this.
Then he nodded once, solemn. "Truth is truth," he said, like it was a law. Before Marcus left, they did the star jar. Eli wrote first, folding his star carefully. "My star," Eli said quietly, "is you didn't lie to me." Marcus swallowed hard. Marcus wrote his star. "I will not sign away the truth." He folded it, dropped it into the jar, and the soft tap felt like a promise that weighed something. The diner Claire chose was warm and a little too bright, the kind that didn't flatter anyone. The booths were cracked vinyl. The coffee smelled like comfort and exhaustion. Claire sat in the corner, coat still on, hands clasped around a water glass as if it was an anchor. No entourage, no Sienna, just Claire. Marcus slid into the booth across from her. Claire didn't waste time. "They lied to me," she said. Marcus nodded. "They lied to everyone," he replied. Claire's jaw clenched, and for the first time Marcus saw anger on her face that wasn't polished. "They told me it was minor," she said. "A brief moment. They told me security intervened." Marcus leaned back. "And you believed them?" he asked. Claire's eyes held his. "No," she said, "because I remember not breathing. I remember thinking my last thought might be about a stupid bite of food." Marcus exhaled slowly. He slid the flash drive across the table. Claire's eyes fixed on it. "What is this?" she asked. "A copy," Marcus said. "Not perfect, but enough." Claire's fingers hovered over it like she was afraid of what it would confirm. "Where did you get it?" she asked. Marcus shook his head. "Someone who'll be punished if their name comes out," he said. Claire nodded, understanding the economy of fear. Marcus leaned forward. "There's audio," he said, "and there's a voice. Sienna." Claire's lips pressed tight. "I'm not surprised," she said. Marcus watched her. "Why are they doing this?" he asked. "Beyond optics." Claire stared down at her glass. "My company is about to sign a partnership with the Meridian," she said. "A safety and wellness initiative, big, public." Marcus felt his jaw tighten. "A safety initiative," he repeated. Claire nodded. "If it becomes known I nearly died at their event," she said, "then their safety branding looks like a lie. Investors panic. The deal cracks. They lose money." Marcus exhaled. "So they needed it to be nothing," he said. "And if it couldn't be nothing," Claire replied, "they needed it to be handled internally, by them, not by you." Marcus's hands clenched under the table. Claire looked up. "What do you want?" she asked again, but this time it sounded like a real question. Marcus thought of Eli on the school bench. "I want the truth on the record," he said. "I want my son to stop hearing lies about me. I want them to stop punishing people for doing the right thing." Claire swallowed. "I can do that," she said. Marcus held her gaze. "Not quietly," he said. Claire nodded. "Not quietly," she agreed. She leaned in, voice lower. "I have a board call tomorrow morning," she said. "Investors, partners. The Meridian will be listening. That's where it matters." Marcus's heart thudded. "You'll say it there," he said. Claire's eyes hardened. "I'll say it there," she confirmed. "I'll say I choked. I'll say you saved me. I'll say they fired you and tried to silence you." Marcus swallowed. "That will hit hard," he said. Claire's mouth tightened. "It should," she replied. Then Claire's voice softened, and the shift was small but real. "I'm sorry," she said, "for letting them manage me, for letting them bury you." Marcus didn't rush to comfort her. He didn't weaponize it either. He just let the apology exist in the space between them. Claire slid a business card across the table, an attorney, independent. "If they threaten you," she said, "call him. Don't take their calls alone." Marcus picked it up. He nodded. Claire's gaze drifted toward a family in another booth, a kid laughing with syrup on his chin. Something in Claire's face tightened. "You have a son," she said softly. Marcus nodded. "My whole life," he replied. Claire's throat worked.
I don't have anyone like that, she admitted, quiet. Marcus looked at her. Then do the right thing anyway, he said. Not because it makes you feel better, because it's right. Claire nodded, eyes bright with something she tried to keep contained. Tomorrow, she said. Tomorrow, Marcus repeated. When he got home, Eli was asleep with one arm thrown over the blanket like a victory flag. Marcus stood in the doorway a long time, listening to Eli breathe. Then he sat at the kitchen table with the laptop open and the flash drive beside it like a weight. The next morning, Marcus made breakfast like the world was normal. Eli chewed his toast and watched Marcus carefully. "You're making your serious face," Eli said. Marcus tried to smile. "Am I?" he asked. Eli nodded. "Like when you talked to the principal," Eli said. Marcus exhaled. "Yeah," he said. Eli hesitated, then asked in a small voice, "Are they going to be mean to you?" Marcus crouched to Eli's height. "They might try," he said. Eli's face tightened. "Why?" he asked. Marcus held his gaze. "Because they think looking right matters more than being honest," Marcus said. "But we're not playing that game." Eli nodded slowly. "Okay," he whispered. "Don't be quiet." Marcus's throat tightened. "I won't," he promised. After he dropped Eli off, Marcus went home and waited. Waiting felt like standing on a train platform with no schedule posted. Every minute stretched. His phone buzzed with a call he didn't recognize. He let it go to voicemail. A new voicemail appeared. Caldwell's voice purred through the speaker. "Marcus," Caldwell said, "I hear you've been making connections. I advise you to stop. This kind of attention doesn't end well for people without protection." A pause. Then the softer line, the crueler one. "Think of your son," Caldwell said. Marcus stared at the phone like it had teeth. He walked to the star jar and pulled it close. He wrote a new star. "My son is not a leash." He folded it and dropped it in. Then his laptop chimed. A link arrived from Jules. "Board call stream. Watch now." Marcus clicked. A corporate interface filled the screen. Names, logos, a waiting room of wealth. Claire appeared with a neutral background behind her, a water glass placed carefully within reach. Marcus could see it, the way her fingers hovered near the glass like she didn't trust her own throat. A board member spoke about partnerships and confidence and public perception. The Meridian's representative joined the call, smiling too much. He referred to the event as a brief moment of discomfort. Marcus's jaw clenched. Then Claire lifted a hand. "I want to address something directly," she said. Voices quieted. Claire looked into the camera. "I attended an event at the Meridian Hotel," she said. Marcus held his breath without meaning to. Claire continued. "During that event, I choked," she said. "I could not breathe." Silence. The Meridian representative's smile tightened. Claire's voice stayed steady. "This was not minor," she said. "It was immediate danger." The representative began to speak, but Claire cut him off calmly. "Your team did not save me," she said. "A staff member did." Marcus's chest tightened. "A man named Marcus Reed performed the Heimlich maneuver correctly," Claire said, "and gave me air back." Marcus's hands trembled in his lap. Claire didn't stop. "Instead of thanking him," she said, "the hotel attempted to suppress the truth. They pressured him to sign a confidentiality agreement. They fired him. They tried to rewrite the event so that he disappeared." The Meridian representative's face drained of color. A board member tried to interrupt, but Claire continued, voice measured and sharp. "I will not partner with an institution that prioritizes image over life," she said. "We will reevaluate this relationship immediately." Marcus stared at the screen, hearing the words land in rooms he would never enter. Then Claire added the line that made Marcus's throat tighten again. "Any attempt to retaliate against Mr. Reed," she said, "will be met with legal response." The call ended soon after. The screen dissolved into silence. Marcus sat still like the room had shifted around him. His phone buzzed. A message from Claire. "I said it."
Marcus stared at the words, then typed back, "Thank you." Another buzz, a message from Jules. "They're losing it. Be careful." Then another buzz, a call from an unknown number. Marcus let it go to voicemail. Seconds later, a new voicemail appeared. Sienna's voice, smooth and bright. "Mr. Reed," she said, "this is Sienna Vale from the Meridian. We would like to resolve this amicably. Please call me back." Marcus didn't call back. He called the attorney. The attorney's voice was calm and unhurried, like he had seen this kind of pressure before and didn't flinch. "Do not speak to them alone," the attorney said. "Save every message. Screenshot everything. Say nothing publicly unless we decide it helps." Marcus exhaled. "Okay," he said. By afternoon, Marcus's name was online. Not everywhere, but enough. A local news site posted a story with his name spelled wrong. A commenter called him a hero. Another commenter called him a liar. Someone suggested he must have wanted attention. Marcus shut the laptop and stared at the wall. He could feel the crowd forming. Caldwell had been right about one thing. Lies didn't have fists. They had crowds. That evening, he went to pick Eli up from school. Eli ran out like a small comet, backpack bouncing. He reached Marcus and blurted, "Dad, you were on the teacher's computer." Marcus froze. "What?" he asked gently. Eli nodded hard. "They were watching a video," Eli said, "and Ms. Larkin said, 'That's Eli's dad.'" Marcus swallowed. "What did she say?" Marcus asked. Eli's eyes shone. "She said you did something brave," Eli said. "She said you saved someone's life." Relief and grief hit Marcus at the same time. "And the other kids?" Marcus asked. Eli shrugged. "Some said you're famous," Eli said like it was a sickness. Marcus let out a shaky laugh. Eli leaned closer. "I told them you're not famous," Eli whispered. "You're just my dad." Marcus pulled Eli into a hug right there on the sidewalk, not caring who saw. Eli hugged him back hard. "Don't be quiet," Eli whispered into Marcus's shirt. Marcus's eyes stung. "I won't," he said. That night, the Meridian released a statement. They praised staff professionalism. They described a brief health moment. They said protocols were followed. They did not say choking. They did not say Marcus's name. They did not say fired. The statement was built to glide off the mind like water off glass. Claire didn't let it stand. She posted a short public message, plain and sharp, naming Marcus again and confirming he saved her life. The story grew. The Meridian tried to contain it. Then someone leaked the confidentiality agreement template. Then someone leaked that Caldwell had signed it before Marcus even entered Human Resources. Then a reporter asked the Meridian representative on camera why a hotel selling safety would punish a man for doing exactly what safety required. Sienna appeared on television with the same calm smile. "Our priority is always guest well-being," she said. Marcus watched the clip and felt his jaw tighten. Because he had heard that tone before. It was the tone of someone who could say anything and expect the world to let her. 2 days later, the attorney called Marcus with an update. "They want mediation," he said. "They're offering money, severance, and a non-disparagement clause." Marcus sat at the kitchen table while Eli colored beside him, drawing his dragon again, the one that guarded a house. Marcus watched Eli's small hand move in confident strokes. "What do you want?" the attorney asked. Marcus looked at the star jar, looked at the paper stars, looked at the way Eli's head tilted in concentration. "I want them to admit it," Marcus said. "Publicly. I want an apology. I want them to say they fired me for saving her." There was a pause on the line. "That is not the usual goal," the attorney said carefully. Marcus's voice stayed steady. "I'm not usual," he replied, "and I'm done letting them write the story." The pressure didn't stop. It changed shape. Sienna texted Marcus from a new number. "We can offer you a generous settlement, a strong reference, a fresh start. All we need is mutual agreement that this ends."
Marcus stared at the message until his hands steadied. He typed back. My son heard the lie, so no. Sienna replied, think carefully, symbols get attacked. Marcus didn't answer that one. He didn't want to be a symbol. He wanted to be a father whose son could say his name without flinching. Staff at the Meridian were questioned. Jules texted Marcus late at night. They're trying to find who copied the backup. Marcus's chest tightened. Be careful, he typed. Jules replied, I am, but I'm tired of being scared. Marcus stared at that sentence a long time. Then he replied, me too. A few days later, the Meridian announced Caldwell had resigned. The statement said, personal reasons. Luxury always chose soft words for hard actions. Sienna did not resign. Sienna stayed visible, smiling, speaking carefully, guiding the narrative back toward neutral. But something had shifted. Because now the truth was in rooms with microphones. Now the truth had the name Marcus Reed attached to it. Now the Meridian couldn't pretend he didn't exist without looking like they were trying. Claire asked to meet Marcus again. This time, she chose a community center room with folding chairs and a vending machine that hummed emptily. Claire walked in alone. No Sienna. No security. She looked exhausted in a way that wasn't physical, like she had been carrying a weight that finally had a name. Marcus stood. Claire nodded. I didn't bring my team, she said. Good, Marcus replied. Claire sat, hands clasped. They agreed to a public apology, she said. They'll name you. They'll admit retaliation. Marcus exhaled. They're scared, he said. Claire nodded. They are, she said. And they offered me a revised partnership deal, more money, more announcements, a charity donation. Marcus watched her face. And you? He asked. Claire's mouth tightened. I said no, she said. Not unless they tell the truth. Marcus sat back, surprised by the relief that moved through him. Claire hesitated, then said quietly, I'm sorry. Marcus studied her. For what? He asked. Claire swallowed. For believing convenient phrasing, she said. For letting them hide behind privacy. For not asking who you were the moment I could breathe. Marcus let the apology land. Then he said, that's how systems work. They offer you a story that saves you from discomfort. Claire nodded. I've built my career on those stories, she admitted. Marcus leaned forward. Then build something else now, he said. Claire held his gaze and nodded once. They offered to reinstate you, Claire said. Do you want to go back? Marcus pictured the Meridian corridors, the cameras, the way Caldwell had used Eli's existence like a tool. He shook his head. No, Marcus said. I don't want to breathe under their ceiling anymore. Claire looked relieved and sad at the same time. I can offer you a job, she said carefully. Marcus's shoulders stiffened. Not hush money, Claire said quickly. A role. My company is rolling out real safety training across partner properties. Not brochures, not slogans, actual training. I want you to help build it. Marcus stared. You want me to be a face, he said. Claire nodded. Yes, she admitted. And I know what that means. People will project. They'll argue. They'll try to turn you into something you never asked to be. Marcus exhaled slowly. Why me? He asked. Claire's voice softened. Because you moved, she said. And because you refused to sell your silence even when it would have been easier. I need people near me who don't confuse image with truth. Marcus sat with that. He didn't say yes yet. He didn't say no. He said, I need to think. Claire nodded. Fair, she said. Then she hesitated, and the hesitation was almost human. I want to meet your son, she said. Marcus blinked. My son, he repeated. Claire nodded. He's the reason you didn't sign, she said quietly. I owe him more than headlines. Marcus felt his throat tighten. He will ask you uncomfortable questions, Marcus warned. Claire's mouth twitched. I deserve them, she said. The Meridian's apology happened in the lobby. Marble floors, glass walls, light designed to make everything look clean. Cameras lined up, reporters held microphones. A different executive stood at the podium and spoke careful words. They said they had made mistakes. They said they regretted the handling of the situation. They said Mr. Reed acted with commendable skill. They used the word commendable like it was a bone tossed to a dog. But they said his name. They admitted they had pressured him to sign a confidentiality agreement. They said they were reviewing internal policies to ensure staff are supported in emergencies. Marcus watched it on the laptop at home. Eli sat beside him with a bowl of cereal, eyes fixed on the screen. When the executive said Marcus's name, Eli whispered, "That's you." Marcus swallowed. "Yeah," he said. Eli's face tightened. "They said sorry," Eli said, skeptical. Marcus nodded. "They said words," he replied. Eli looked up. "Are they really sorry?" Eli asked. Marcus paused. "I don't know," he said, "but they're scared, and sometimes fear makes people tell the truth." Eli nodded slowly, processing. That weekend, Claire came to their apartment. No jewelry, no entourage, just Claire holding a small paper bag from a bakery. Eli opened the door and froze. His eyes were huge. Marcus stepped behind him. "Eli," Marcus said gently, "this is Claire." Eli stared, then whispered, "You're the breathing lady." Claire laughed softly, surprised by the blunt nickname. "I guess I am," she said. Eli didn't smile yet. He asked, "Why did your hotel people lie?" Claire's face tightened. She knelt slightly, making herself smaller. "Because they were scared," she said, "and because they thought looking perfect mattered more than being honest." Eli frowned hard. "That's dumb," he said. Claire nodded. "It is," she agreed. Eli pointed at the paper bag. "What's that?" he asked. "Cookies," Claire said. "I didn't know what else to bring." Eli considered, then nodded. "Cookies are good," he declared, as if granting her entry into their world. At the kitchen table, Claire looked around at the mismatched chairs, the worn countertop, the height marks on the wall where Eli had grown. "This is nice," Claire said quietly. Eli snorted. "It's small," he said. Claire smiled. "It's yours," she said. "That makes it nice." Eli chewed thoughtfully. Then he asked the question that made Marcus nearly choke on his own water. "Are you rich?" Eli asked. Claire blinked, then laughed. "Yes," she said, "I am." Eli's eyebrows pulled together in serious concentration. "Then why didn't you buy more breathing?" he asked. Claire went still. Marcus felt his throat tighten. Eli wasn't joking. He was trying to understand the rules. Claire leaned forward. "Because money can't buy someone choosing to help you," she said gently. "Money can't buy a person deciding your life matters." Eli stared at her, then slowly nodded as if he was filing it away as a fact about the universe. After Claire left, Marcus and Eli did the star jar. Eli wrote first. He folded his star and dropped it in. "My star," Eli said, "is the breathing lady told the truth." Marcus smiled, something warm and painful in his chest. Marcus wrote his star. "Truth can be louder than money." He folded it and dropped it into the jar. Weeks later, Marcus began work with Claire's company, not as a mascot, as a trainer. He stood in staff rooms and kitchens and service corridors in hotels that looked different on the surface but felt the same underneath. He taught people how to recognize choking, how to act fast, how not to freeze while everyone else waits for someone more important to move. He told the Meridian story without glamour. He told it like a warning. He told it like proof. Because the truth wasn't just what happened in the ballroom. The truth was what happened afterward. The truth was what people tried to do to the person who acted. The truth was that silence was not neutral. Silence was a tool. And Marcus watched people straighten in their chairs when he said that part. He watched them nod like they had been waiting for someone to name it. Eli adjusted slowly to a dad who traveled sometimes. Marcus came home late from trainings and found Eli asleep on the couch with a dragon drawing on his chest like a shield. They kept doing the star jar, even on nights when Marcus was exhausted.
especially on those nights. Jules left the Meridian quietly a month later. She sent Marcus a message. "I found a new job. Better hours. Mom's meds are covered." Marcus replied, "I'm proud of you." Jules sent back, "I'm proud of us." On a Friday, Marcus picked Eli up in a used car that wasn't impressive but started every time. Eli buckled his seatbelt and stared out the window for a long moment. "Dad," he said softly, "are you still scared sometimes?" Marcus paused. "Yes," he admitted. Eli nodded. "Me too," he whispered. Marcus glanced at him. "What scares you?" he asked. Eli swallowed. "That people will lie about you again," he said. Marcus felt his chest tighten. He reached over and touched Eli's shoulder for a second, a small anchor. "They might try," Marcus said, "but now we know something." Eli looked up. "What?" he asked. Marcus smiled, small and real. "Truth can survive crowds," Marcus said, "especially when we keep telling it." Eli's mouth curled into a grin. "I'm good at telling," he said. Marcus laughed, full and surprised by the sound. "I know," he said. That night at the kitchen table, they did the star jar again. Eli wrote his star. He folded it carefully and dropped it in. "My star," he said, "is my dad teaches people to help." Marcus's eyes burned. He picked up the pen and wrote his own star. "I chose breath over silence." He folded it and dropped it into the jar. The paper tapped softly against the others, a quiet chorus. Eli looked up at him with cookie crumbs on his lip and pride in his eyes. "Dad," Eli asked, "if someone says you're bad again, what do I do?" Marcus leaned back and let the question settle. Then he answered with the simplest thing he knew. "You tell the truth," Marcus said. Eli nodded, solemn as a judge. "Truth is truth," he said. Marcus looked at the jar full of paper stars and felt his lungs expand without effort. Outside, the city kept moving. Inside, in a small apartment the world had tried to shake loose, a father and son kept breathing.